Hey, it's me Tom, and today we're gonna go over all of the moves in Rumble so far. Now this is not gonna be a combo guide, but just me showcasing all the moves we have so far. So sit back and grab some popcorn and let's go! First off, we have Disc. Now all of the base attacks have a starter position, where you put your wrists in your hip. And this is what it looks like from the side. Up next we have Pillar. This is a very useful attack you get at the start, and very good for starter defensive play. But don't underestimate this long boy, this guy packs a punch. And here we have another side view. Next one is called Spawn Ball. And it just spawns a ball, as you could have guessed. This next one is one of my favorites, and it's Spawn Wall. This is the highest damage structure that you can spawn in right now. Now wall is probably one of the more versatile options you got, because it's very good for offensive and defensive moves. Now this next one is called Spawn Cube. This is a very good one, and does a lot of damage as well. Cube actually has the same stats as Pillar, it's just a different shape. Cube is a very basic move, and very versatile as well. Now let's go over to some of the modifiers. These are the moves you want to use for comboing. First off, we've got Kick. Now this attack actually just puts the object in front of you in the air a bit. Very useful, this is one of my go-tos. This next one is, in my opinion, the most useless attack we've got. That doesn't mean you never use it, but to be honest with you, I never use this attack. It's called Uppercut, and it's actually an attack that I never really use. But right there, if you do it twice in a row, you can get an object pretty far. Here's Mitch doing the attack instead, because I never really do the attack, so thank you, Mitch. Good job. Now this next move is one of my favorites. It's called Parry, and it makes sure that any object in front of you just stays still in the air. Doesn't matter if it's a disc or a huge ass wall, if someone sends this to you and you do parry, you will stop it in its tracks. Here's a side view of Mitch doing it, and the timing is actually pretty difficult to get right, especially with flying discs. But you'll get the hang of it, trust me. But yeah, even though I love parrying, this is not a combo guide, so yeah, let's just go over to the next ones. This next one is called Straight, and it's the first one you get alongside Disc and Pillar. There's not really much to say else than this is very useful, and use this a lot, please. Now this one is called Stomp. Now the files for this one got corrupt, so I had to redo it in the gym. Okay, here's a demonstration. This wall is grounded, so if I straight it, it just slides. And this one is not grounded, so it falls over. Now you can ground objects, and if you then straight it, it'll slide as well. You can unground any object by doing Kick. But it's basically an attack that just sends any ungrounded objects into the ground. It also gives the grounded objects an extra damage point. You can even ground the discs that you send off yourself to give it an extra damage point. But more on that in a different video. This next move is called Dash, and it just makes sure that your character goes fast. Very useful for fighting. It's not really an attack, but it's really something you need to know. Now the next one is called Jump, and as you can see, Mitch was very excited to show off this one. So yeah, Jump is also one of the utilities. Make sure that you go flying. Very good for in-game scenarios as well. Now let's go over to my favorite one, which is called Hold. This moves make sure that an object is either on your left or on your right hand. You can also do it on both, which is very fun, but I don't really know yet how that can be useful. If you hold an ungrounded object, it will go in the air and you can throw it. Very cool stuff. Now in my opinion, Hold is probably one of the most versatile things in the game right now. You can really just choose what you do with it, instead of having a set attack for it. You can even use Hold to parry stuff like discs and boulders. Although this is a much easier way to parry, you can really send things back easier. So parrying is kind of a risk-reward type attack. Now let's go over to the last two. This one is called Flick. And it's very similar to Hold, except for the fact that now you can't really let go of it. This is a really good attack for close-up combat, almost like a melee attack. So if I try and throw it right here, you can see that it won't let go. The only way to really get rid of it is by grounding the object. Another big difference is that hold is on one hand and flick is on two hands. When you're in the flick state, you can also rotate the object, which you cannot do in hold. One thing to also note is that you cannot use flick on any grounded object. It will just cancel out immediately. Right now, Mitch is just showcasing the difference between hold and flick because I get a lot of questions on what the difference is, and I can understand why people can get confused with it. Now this is something cool me and Mitch discovered, is that when someone is holding an object, someone else can use flick on it. So now he controls where it goes and I control rotation. Pretty cool stuff. This means that if someone is close to you with a flick object, you can just hold it and throw it away. But yeah, we're going to talk about all that stuff in another video about mechanics and all that type of stuff. Now this one is called Explode. It's one of the newer ones. This attack makes sure that you do more knockback. It doesn't do extra damage per se, but you can surely knock someone out of the ring very quickly with this one. If you hit an item with Explode, it also means that it ungrounds that object. But yeah, those are all the moves, and if you put them all together, it might look something like this.